What's going on, fellas and genitals? I'm Mega Dash, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, the recess between court sessions on day 4. So Ezra says, looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. So, we're basically tag teaming it now. This isn't how trials work. See, Gumshoe's here, see. Chief, he's something else. Hey, pals. Say, Detective Gumshoe. Ha ha ha. I'm not a detective anymore. Oh, right, because you got fired. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. See, don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. Let's see. At your office. Like, he's gonna be my assistant now? Like Maya and Emma have been? Okay. My office? Sure! I'll take the place of that top-notted girl I used to work with. So that would be Maya, see. Did he mean, see, Maya? He does indeed, see. Still, looks like we're on his moves now, see. Chief can't send it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Well, I mean, theoretically anyone has the right to remain silent. Settle down, right? Remember what the judge said. But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks? What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. What do you mean? You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too, says an unknown voice. Oh, Emma's here. Okay, see. Emma, are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I guess she passed out, see. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on, see. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. I mean, what's done is done. I mean, she just now found out. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Okay, that's an interesting emotion to feel, but to each their own. Relieved? Yeah, no, I finally know what really happened. I think that all this time, my sister's being blackmailed by that terrible man. Yeah. And she did it all just to protect me. Oh, it's so sweet that she ended up, in order to protect her, she did all kinds of awful things. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Because she was appointed chief prosecutor after that case, and at this point she was being fully blackmailed by Gant, do all of his bidding. Because it wasn't just now that he's been blackmailing. He's been blackmailing her since the very beginning. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside to force herself to do anything and everything the Chief told her to. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. No, it's not your fault. It's Gant's fault. You don't blame yourself. It is the guy who blackmailed her's fault. It was an accident on your side. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. No, you didn't. You manslaughtered him. There's a difference. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. Thanks, Gumshoe. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. No, don't blame society. Blame Chief Damon Gant. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. Yeah, okay, why does she all of a sudden remember all these things? I see. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act. Could she possibly testify again about the armor? Emma, why don't you wait? And then I get no, I'm going with you. Oh, okay. I want to be there. When Lana tells the truth. Alright, Lana's gonna be our next testament. That's alright. It's time to end this. To be continued. Oh. I'll see you on the other side. Alright, February 25th, 2:21 p.m. District Court. courtroom number 9. Remember? Now then! Will the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, please take the stand? I suppose she has to. Say, Miss Lana Sky, you are the chief prosecutor. I wonder if it's going to be him that has to, if it's still Edgeworth that has to try to get her to state her name and occupation. I'm sure you are aware of what is required of you. Which is it state her name or occupation, or is it something else? Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. No, we don't. You know all that I've done in these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. I remember, you are on oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Aww. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with God. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Alright. Gant and the Fabrication witness testimony. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago, all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. Excuse me, my only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. But why? Why else would she do that? See? And of course, Gant still has the ability to, and we've seen what Gant has been saying in this trial. You know, that there will be consequences if you go through it and see, are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. We're probably gonna have to press something. But Lana! If this is true, then that means Chief God has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. But it's not true. There's a contradiction in there somewhere. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She sacrificed herself because of me. What if she's telling the truth? Oh, she's not. She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Oh, okay. Exclamation point. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Alright, let's do that. Gant and the Fabrication. Alright, let's press the first statement. I worked alongside Gant for years. How many years exactly? Well, at least 2. Ever since I made senior detective. Which was when? Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years. So I guess that means she's 29 now, or would she be 31? Does that not count the past 2 years? Detective Grant and Detective Scott were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must have been good, coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. So, you told me as much yesterday in jail, but you still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? And we don't have any kind of proof that she said that. So it's my word against of what she said against her word of what she didn't say. Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. Exclamation point. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. Well, that's technically true. And the thing is, he was already dead. It was just his body. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago, all by myself. But did you do so to help your sister? And that goes into the next statement. So Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. Excuse me. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life, but she's going to say that that wasn't her main motivation. What she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. Of course, it was self-defense against the wrong target, but she was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana! So that's why we fabricated the evidence 2 years ago! So, it's not, well, I guess technically he indirectly had to do with it. It's really, I guess, her own fault. But, you know, she go, I mean, it was an accident, but it's still, you know, her fault, so to speak. So, when I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. You say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? No. It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. Okay, this is going to be important here. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. Let's see, but he wasn't... Wait, the victim, but that would be Joe Dark. See, are we talking about the... If it's Neil Marshall, why would the prosecutor award be stuck in his body? He would have been stabbed by either Dark's knife or the sort of... He was the one holding it. What? Well, Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident on a suit of armor. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. No, I think we pretty much determined it was. Exclamation point. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Right. Say, then why would the jar be there? Say, fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. Could you add it to your testimony, perhaps? You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Doc with the prosecutor award knife of all things. Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other weapon? Doc was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies, and not doing so well. The thing is, I don't have a statement yet I can actually present against. I'll just protect me. So when you find the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. Let's see. I wrote... Oh, okay. So now we have another statement here. Let's see. I'm going to take a state, actually. See. So I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body. Let's press that. And then, let's see. You planted the tip of Dark's knife, and then you moved the body! But why would you do that? I guess we're probably gonna have to present something against either that or something's gonna come out and see. You home people should know my hurts. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. Exclamation point! My head isn't that bad, but maybe I asked for the sake of the others. Okay, why did you plant the knife? And why did you move the body? Okay, let's take a state. I may only get to ask one, so let's go with why did you move the body first. See, when you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk because she moved it. Why did you move it there? Excuse me. The reason for that is simple. Let's have the lawyers explain this in more detail. See, the reason Miss Scott moved the body. I see. The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. What was your plan? Okay, I'm gonna take another state, and then we'll press this one as well. Pieces of the jar, you mean? Yes, the wretched jar Mr. Wright showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crimes, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. Okay, so, when you first found the body, the jar was already, of course. Excuse me. It had been shattered to pieces. Well, that doesn't explain the writing on it, something. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. I see! Dot. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. So it wouldn't have been possible to write the Emma on it then. Is that what you're saying? But I have a feeling there's more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Okay, let's press it. I think the other statement is the one we're supposed to. But you know what? I'm just gonna press them all just for the hell of it. Okay. So you rearranged the crime scenes. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? Well, she just said that she did, because she moved the body so that people wouldn't put the two and two together with the suit of armor in the jar. How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Ryan? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying. She did so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. Well, yeah, you're right about that. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Well, you could turn around and get Dan convicted. It's right. My sister's lying. Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end, and she insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. Okay, so then we're going to go back to the beginning and say the thing. I'm going to go back and to the, let's ask, why did you plant the knife this time? Why did you do that? Come now, Mr. Wright. Even you should be able to figure it out. Well, let's add this to the witness testimony. The reason this guy fabricated the knife. I knew the tip of the weapon buried in his body would be all the proof we need. So, okay, so the two statements go to two completely different statements. Okay, let's say, and then press this one. Right. According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife is a murder weapon, right? Okay, here we go. This is gonna be where we're actually gonna get into. Yes, and leaving it at that might point the blame away from Dark. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted. Excuse me. Would be by having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body. So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound? Yes. So she still said that the prosecutor award was the real murder weapon, but Marshall was wielding it. Right. Because I hated Dark for what he said. Okay. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna try presenting some stuff against those statements that we just heard. So let's start with the tip of the weapon one. I knew the tip of the weapon found buried in the body would be all the proof we needed. Okay. So But it was actually the prosecutor trophy that was the real mineral. Let's try presenting that. No, the music continued. I think I'm going to probably see. This evidence clearly reveals the contradiction in that statement. See, oh, talking about the evidence in the statement just now. Okay, so that's a generic one we've before. Okay, I think, I may just spend the day thinking about it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna actually look at the walkthrough, but I'll at least end the video here. So I make dash.